and welcome. Today's video comes with a warning because there are gonna be some graphic images. As I talked about in one of my earlier videos, today is gonna be all about feeding, which means that I'm gonna cover the 3 ways there is of feeding, and that's frozen, live, and pre-kill. I'm gonna cover all of these 3 subjects, which means that you are gonna see how we feed with an already dead and frozen rat. You're gonna see how I do a live feeding, and you're gonna see how I do a pre-kill, which means you are gonna see how I euthanize a mice and then feed it to the snake. So that's the reason for the warning today. Promise, it's not gonna be gory, it's not gonna be uncomfortable, unpleasant, of course. You may not particularly enjoy watching this video, but I do find that it is necessary to show you what you might have to be able to handle as a reptile owner, especially if you have a ball python, because ball pythons are notorious of being kind of picky when it comes to eating. Sometimes they will take dead, which is wonderful. I always condone that you feed with dead. Sometimes ball pythons won't take that, and you will have to feed live or you will have to feed a pre-kill. So I'm gonna show you that now, so hold on to everything you got and let's get this thing going. When feeding frozen, of course, we have to thaw them first. And the way we do it is that we put them in a bowl like this, and then we fill it with warm water. And depending on how many rats there is, it takes between, I would say, 15 to maybe an hour or even more to unfroze them. Yeah, this bowl we drew a dead rat on it, so we had to make sure that we wouldn't put like regular food. And somebody is ready, he can already smell the rats. Usually when we bring them up, they will be out of the terrarium ready because they can smell them. So here's Alistair, our sunglow boa. As you can see, he's very, very ready. He's in a good strike position. Well done. This is Artemis, my BCI. He has a wonderful curl, as you can see. It's very classic constrictor, the curl. After the strike, the boa will curl for a couple of minutes. This is completely natural, and they'll do it to make sure that the prey is dead. These snakes, I don't know if they know that the prey is dead, but they still do the curl. And it takes a couple of minutes for them to eat usually. You can feed your boas or ball pythons in different ways. You can feed a large meal, like a large rat, or you can feed smaller mice and rats and then just more of them. I will recommend, if you have snakes, to have a feeding schedule as well. We have a schedule on the computer where we've calculated how often the snake should be fed, and then we type it in every time we feed, because in that way we always make sure that they get the food whenever they need to have it. So a feeding schedule, I can highly recommend it. This is Samara. Samara is gravid, hopefully, so she is a bit tense at the moment. If you're feeding big snakes or aggressive snakes, you can do as Timmy is doing here. He's putting on one of these special made gloves. They are snake proof, which means that if the snake bites, you won't feel it. And we've tested it, it really does work. So Samara here, she took it. Alright, so here is me. I am going to feed Rasputin, my newest male. As you can see, he's already there. Rasputin is, I wouldn't call him aggressive, but he definitely has a temper. So we are being a little bit careful here. He's very interested, as you clearly can see. Good strike, wonderful curl. So good to see, really, really good to see. This is Tarzan. Tarzan loves to be in the water. He didn't get it at the first strike, but as you can see, he got it now. Yeah, we pulled him out of the water. Don't worry. And here is a video of Baby, who is our biggest boa. So you can really see how they swallow the whole prey. Of course, this is being I speeded it up speeded it up. I speeded it up for you so it goes a little bit faster, or otherwise it's gonna be much slower in real life. But you can really see how they're working one side after the other to push this prey down the throat. And baby is doing an amazingly great job. She can easily take a bigger prey. She can take a big rabbit, no trouble at all. This is a big girl. And there goes the tail. The next thing you're gonna see now is a prekill. And a prekill pretty much means that I have a live mouse or a live rat, and then I euthanize the rat before feeding it. A little bit of warning here, it might not be that pleasant to see. You should know that I've been trained in doing this right by an animal caretaker from the zoo, so I know how to do it properly. It's not pleasant, it's not something I enjoy. There's nothing enjoyable about taking a life of another animal, but I have to do this, and I have chosen to breed both mice and rats myself, because then I feed them all the good stuff and I make sure that they do have a proper life. And it's also it's so much easier just breeding yourself if you have a large amount of snake. It's cheaper, it's easier, and you always have food around. So that's the reason why I am breeding. Okay guys, so here is the live mouse that we are gonna euthanize and then feed. I have unfortunately chosen a really cute mouse. I breed these mice myself, and I really like it when they are two colored. This might seem a bit, a bit weird, a bit brutal, but I assure you that the mice and rats that I breed, they do have the best life that I can possibly give them before this. This is the guy. Let's get this going. So, I'm gonna show you guys exactly how I euthanize the mice, as I promised you. I do it the same way with both mice and rats. It's pretty easy. I'm gonna just show you. I'm not gonna do it yet. You grab here on the base of the tail, very important, so you have a good grip, and then you basically swing the mouse down so it hits head first, and that should knock it out. After the knockout, I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna use it on the neck to make sure that it's absolutely broken. So it's gonna be very fast, and it's gonna be very quickly. I always do my best to make it as quick and painless as possible. So here goes. So a warning, I am gonna euthanize the mice now. So alright. As you can see, the twitching you see here is the nerves. The mouse is definitely dead. These are the last nerve. It's not nice. It's not something I enjoy, not at all. But it has to be done, and it went down really quickly. As soon as this mouse stops alright, he stopped. So completely dead. Very quick, very fast, as you can see. All dead. That was it. That's how you do a prekill. Today's lucky winner of a meal is gonna be Pearl. So this is the mouse from before, and let's see if Pearl's interested. Seems that way. You can see she's clearly interested. See the tongue. Let's see if you want to take it. Oh, and there she goes. is the prekill. Wasn't that bad. I really hope that I didn't get any of you too scared, but that's what it looks like. The next thing we're gonna do is the live feeding, and this is where I'm also gonna give out a warning because it might be a little bit unpleasant for some to see. I've chosen to live feed one of our smaller snakes simply because it's not that gory to look at. With the bigger snakes, I don't live feed them. There's no reason to do that. When live feeding the bigger snakes, of course, I need bigger prey, which means I need a big rat. And rats, when they are scared, can be very unpleasant to deal with, and there is a high risk of the snake getting bitten by the rat as well, which might cause an infection, and that's not good. As a matter of fact, you are gonna see Noelle get a live feeding, and Noelle is a champion. I promise you it's gonna go fast. No gory, no nothing. So here goes. We're gonna do a live feeding, and we will be feeding with this rat. As you can see, it's not that old yet. The eyes are still closed. It's not fun to watch. I don't particularly enjoy feeding live, but sometimes it is necessary when the animal won't eat. We are trying to get them used to eating dead, but it takes a while. We try to offer every time. As you can see, he's getting interested back there. Try to offer every time, but ball pythons are very stubborn when it comes to eating. Oh, there he comes. Very stubborn when it comes to eating. As you can see, Noelle here, he's pretty ready to eat, so I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna toss it in there. I have to give a warning before this. It might be a bit graphical. You might hear the rat scream a little bit. That's just how it is. I'm not gonna say it's nature because there's nothing natural about what we're doing, putting them in the terrarium and not giving the rat a chance. So here we go. This was pretty much it. Noelle, he took it very quickly. As you can see, he got a good bite on him, and he got a nice looking curl. The rat right now is squealing, or what you call it. It's not nice to look at. It shouldn't be more than a couple of minutes at top before the rat is dead. I don't enjoy feeding live. I've told you that before. It's not nice. But my reptile's health comes first. So sometimes you have to do stuff like this if you want to keep reptiles, and that is also something that you will have to deal with, and that is something to consider if you're thinking about getting a ball python, because ball python especially are notorious for being very stubborn when it comes to food, very picky. I've even heard that some ball pythons are picky down to the color of the mice or the rat. I haven't experienced that yet. I don't know if it's an urban legend, but I've heard about it. Alright, as you can see now, the rat pretty much stopped moving almost. There's a little bit of twitching left, so it went very quickly. Ball pythons are not venomous, so he's not injecting any venom. He is strangling it, so he's simply stopping the blood flow. Noelle here, as you know, is still a young ball python. He's 1 year old. And young ball pythons, or young snakes in general, may have some issues when it comes to eating. As they get older, they seem to get more hang of it. But younger snakes do tend to take a bit more time when they're eating, which means that they spend more time trying to figure out where to begin, where to end, all that kind of stuff. And you will often see them try to eat sometimes from behind, sometimes from the side. There. Noelle found the head. He's getting pretty good at this. And as you can see, he is now starting to eat the whole rat. So let's just stay with him, and you can have a look at what it looks like when a ball python is eating. It's pretty calm. There's no gore, no blood, no nothing. It's very simple. It's a good word, I think. The size of the rat that I'm feeding Noelle is a bit small. He could do a bigger prey easily, but I'm trying to slim him down a bit because he got a little bit fat. So I'm feeding him smaller preys. As you may have noticed, I'm speaking with a very soft voice. I don't want to disturb Noelle when he's eating. I'm already standing with the camera in his face. Usually you shouldn't disturb your snakes when they're eating because they might get stressed or scared and they will throw up the entire meal and will refuse to eat it or simply not eat it. So always be very calm, try not to disturb too much. Noel is pretty used to me having a camera in his face all the time, so luckily he don't mind. There goes the feet. And the tail. It's not unnatural that the snake's jaw is a bit, what you call it? That it looks a bit funny. Happens when they stretch the jaw, and later on they will pop it back, so don't worry. Alright, that was one small rat, or a big fuzzy, as you can also call him. Well done, Noel. That's what a live feeding looks like. Alright guys, that's all for today. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. It ended up being a bit longer than expected, but I really wanted to cover these different aspects of feeding. Please give the video a like so I know that you like what I make. Subscribe to my channel, it really means a lot to me, it does. And I hope you will have a wonderful weekend. Thank you and bye bye.